Does an ape man walk the uncharted forests of America's Northwest? What unknown monster of the sea grappled with this US Navy frigate in South American waters? Why did people raise up this enormous circle of stones in Orkney 4,000 years ago? Who drew this giant, the largest figure in the world, on Chile's loneliest mountain? What hands fashioned the skull of doom? Does it bring death? Why do stones move by themselves in California's Death Valley? Mysteries from the files of Arthur C. Clarke, author of 2001 and inventor of the communication satellite. Now in retreat in Sri Lanka, after a lifetime of science, space, and writing, he ponders the riddles of this and other worlds.
Mysteries have intrigued and amused me ever since I was a child and read stories of fishes falling from the heavens, of giant sea monsters attacking ships, and luminous shapes moving through the skies. Over the years, I've classified them in order of strangeness as mysteries of the first, second, and third kinds. Even in this small island, there are extraordinary things on every side. 1,500 years ago, the king of Sri Lanka built this fantastic staircase. Why? We can only guess. This was a lost world for 1,000 years. We may never know its purpose. What made a tyrant king create this palace with its pleasure gardens in the sky? For me, it's a starting point in a journey through our mysterious world. Well, here we are in the middle of India on a beautiful, bright, sunny day. Yet we're waiting for one of the most awe-inspiring phenomenon that the whole natural world can show, a total eclipse of the sun. A splendid example of a mystery of the first kind. In a few minutes, this brightly lit landscape will become perfectly dark. But of course, this still terrifies many people, and indeed, even to a modern civilized man, it's quite an awe-inspiring experience. We know that the sun is 400 times bigger than the moon, but also 400 times further away. So by this very strange coincidence, the moon can almost exactly cover the sun at certain times of its orbit around the Earth, and that gives us a total eclipse. So this is a mystery which has been solved, yet at the same time, there are a good many scientific mysteries about the sun which have not been solved, which is why astronomers, as you see here, travel all around the world so they can observe this wonderful phenomenon, which is of great scientific interest. No, it's aluminium foil. Aluminium foil. Already the light on this landscape, which was so brilliantly illuminated half an hour ago by the full tropical sun, is fading to a sort of gray. Did you hear that? The cock crowing. Already the animals know that something strange is happening. And in fact, the level of light here at the moment is something like that of Mars on a fairly bright day. And although it's quite cold now, I can feel when the wind blows. I feel as though I'm back in England. Less than a minute to go now. It's like a door closing with a great light behind it, a curved door hanging up there in space. The moon has almost completely covered the sun. The last light is beginning to go. Just a tiny, narrow thread of light, that's all. Here's streams around me, people are scared of what's happening. The landscape around us fades out. Only the very narrowest thread now. Just a few seconds left. It's going, gone. Eye patch is off. There is the corona, the most glorious sight, a great crown of light, the solar corona. There are streamers of light stretching out around it, and very bright bursts of flame near the edge itself. It's still quite bright. We can see the landscape around us, as though it's probably a bright moonlight night as far as the illumination is concerned, because the light from the corona is so intense. I can't see any other stars except Venus and little Mercury. Of course, the longer one looks, the more detail one sees. You can tell that there are enormous magnetic forces at play there because of the way these streamers follow lines like lines of filing around a magnet. Now you can just see the sun coming. It's all ended. A burst of light, the diamond ring, so-called, just a single spot of light as the sun shines through one of the lunar valleys. It does look like a diamond ring in the sky. And now it's all over. That wonderful eclipse is what I call a mystery of the first kind. It was a mystery to our ancestors, but not to us. We know exactly how it was caused. Yet, tragically, millions of Indians failed to see it because they were terrified and stayed indoors, and so missed the spectacle of a lifetime. We can enjoy an eclipse without fear, yet not without awe. However, this series is mostly about what I call mysteries of the second kind. There we don't have the answers, though we may have many clues. The first example I'm going to give is a literally striking one. It took place on another beach in Scotland a few years ago.
It was in 1966 that a terrifying visitation came to the beach cafe where Mrs. Jean Meldrum and her mother, Mrs. Evelyn Murdoch, were working.
I looked up because I heard this noise getting louder and louder, and there was just like a ball of fire. It was like orange in the middle, and it was luminous white round, and it rolled right along the side of the cafe, the wall in the cafe, and it came to the window, and it came out the window. And I came up, lifted up the way to have a look to see what this was, and the thing came out the window and battered across the front of my chest, and then it vanished because I picked the kid up and I went inside because everybody was panicking by this time. But I was sore for days after it, and there was nothing else to see after it had gone, but it was just like a big ball of fire.
All of a sudden, the whole kitchen that I was standing in just were lit up luminous white. I couldn't understand it. It was very frightening. And then the screaming went on till the beach was empty. The cafe people had all run out the cafe. They ran out like lightning. And the beach attendant, who had a wooden leg, he usually sat on a table just next to the counter. And you never saw anybody move so quick in all your life. He was gone with the rest. And the following day I discovered the 2 gas jets in the top of the cooker were cut right through. And we had to send it to the blacksmith in Creole, the local blacksmith, to be repaired.
This man, Professor Roger Jennison, who's in charge of Kent University's radio telescope, collects such tales.